कर दे
हाँ तो या हाँ कंटिन्यू
Yeah, so
कंटिन्यू।
what do you think about privacy, like the concept of
नहीं
privacy?
नहीं, आई थिंक वी शुड सी, इस रिगार्ड में ना आई वाज थिंकिंग, जैसे एफबीआई का जो हुआ था, आई रिमेम्बर 9/11 के बाद देयर वर रूमर्स, इसी ने तो किया
I
था,
I have a lot of
स्नोडन
things to talk
स्नोडन।
about that.
हाँ तो उसने ये
Yeah,
बोला था कि भाई आफ्टर 9/11 द गवर्नमेंट वाज, the FBI was sort of listening or hacking into people's this thing. अभी ना इस यहाँ पे ना I would like to talk about how, जैसे मैंने ना, there's this writer called Niccolò Machiavelli, if you've heard about it. Prince, have you read
okay.
the book
हाँ
Prince?
पता है yeah.
हाँ तो I've
नहीं.
not read the book yet, but now I was listening to a podcast on philosophy one day, while I was,
Okay.
जैसे मैं जब पपी को घुमा रहा था अपने, तो मैंने कान में
Yeah.
लगा दिया और मैं सुन रहा था, मतलब इतना मेरा ध्यान नहीं था, बट आई वाज लिसनिंग टू दिस। तो what Niccolò Machiavelli in his book Prince said कि भाई,
Yeah.
when there is a greater goal, that is
Hmm.
when there is a goal of protection of state, if there comes a situation where compromises have to be made to
Hmm.
protect the sanctity of that state, so
Hmm.
those little compromises are worth it,
Yeah.
get it, are justified in law or justified
Okay.
in ethics, समझ रहा है?
Okay.
The whole ethical जो
Hmm.
आपका system है कि when you, for a greater good, if small compromises are made,
What is the greater good here? Greater good है क्या यहाँ पे?
नहीं वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, जैसे
मतलब
वही मैं
with
सी
respect to
एक
the
मैं बताऊं, जैसे मैं I'll
yeah.
tell you, जैसे if a state like India, ठीक है, if मतलब I am not in support of breaching people's privacy, but I'm just
Yeah.
telling you a perspective,
Yeah.
ठीक है?
Yeah. Yeah.
जैसे if
Correct.
for a country like India, ठीक है, for a country like India who is in constant war with China and Pakistan, ठीक है, with in such situations भी क्या होता है कि जैसे if the see the greater good is the protection of state, right? The protection of state मतलब the protection of the state called state, the country called India, ठीक है? तो इस
Correct.
इन दिस रिगार्ड अगर लोगों की प्रिवेसी को ब्रीच किया जाए, ऐसा है कि मतलब आप यू नेवर नो हु द टेररिस्ट इज और हु इज नॉट द टेररिस्ट, ठीक है? तो what you do is
Okay.
you breach their privacy to know who the real perpetrator of terrorist activities is, ठीक है? अभी तो इस सिचुएशन में क्या होता है कि जैसे इफ ऐसे करने से क्या हुआ कि टेररिस्ट पकड़े गए, तो आपका जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है वो अचीव हो गया,
I
बट इफ
I
इन अ
will tell you. I'll tell
सिचुएशन
you
इफ
something
इफ
now.
इन अ सिचुएशन आपका जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है वो अचीव नहीं हुआ, so at the end of the day, what you have done is, or what you are guilty of, is breaching people's privacy. So the question here is
Hmm.
not whether this breaching of privacy is valid, is legit or not, but it comes into question only when innocent people become victim of
Hmm.
breach of this
Hmm.
their privacy. Now
Correct.
यहाँ पे मैं
Okay.
प्रिंस का कॉन्सेप्ट या फिर द ग्रेटर गुड का कॉन्सेप्ट इसलिए बोलना चाह रहा हूँ कि मतलब अगर टेररिस्ट
Yeah.
को पकड़ा गया तब तो कुछ गलती हुई नहीं, ठीक है, बट द
Hmm.
कॉम्प्रोमाइजेज,
Hmm.
लिटिल कॉम्प्रोमाइजेज वर मेड व्हेन आप जब आपने
Hmm.
दूसरे नॉन जो इनोसेंट लोगों की privacy breach की गई, those were the compromises that you made for the protection of state. So this is what I feel, privacy की अगर आप बात करो कि कैसे,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
या
See, uh, the whole Edward Snowden story is he accidentally found a program. ठीक है? The name of the program was Stellar Wind. So
या
he found a file called strwnd. ठीक है? And through that he found out कि डिक चेनी जो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट था when the
FBI का
9/11 happened.
country's
नहीं नहीं
vice
नहीं
president, country's
वाइस
vice
प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ
president बुश
यूएस
के टाइम
यूएस
पे,
या अमेरिका बुश के टाइम पे या
ओके,
सो आफ्टर 9/11 ही उसने एक मतलब बहुत सीक्रेटली ही मेड अ लॉ मतलब उसके उसकी अटॉर्नी like without consulting a lot of people he made a law and ऐसे कांग्रेस के काफी काफी कम लोगों को ऐसे यू नो sort of बता के या फिर ऐसे अपने साथ लेके he passed it, and it was a secret. Yeah, it was a secret to everyone in the country. Now what Stellarwind did is कि वो millions of people, it was a mass surveillance program, ठीक है. So it spied on millions and millions and millions of Americans, ठीक है. People who may not have a connection with countries that America thinks are its enemies, and I mean anyone and everyone with minimum eligibilities of being tracked were tracked, ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे the issue is and Edward Snowden sort of क्या कहते हैं उसको, he sort of exposed that, and then उसके पीछे वो पड़ गए, and then he had to sort of run away. वो अभी मॉस्को, अभी he is in Russia. He's a permanent resident है वो, I think
रेजिडेंसी दे दी है.
yeah, मतलब he was ये political asylum दिया था उसको रशिया में. अभी he has permanent residency है उसको, I think. तो यहाँ पे the issue is there are two facts. मतलब तूने जब अभी जो बोला ना कि when you sort of ऐसे इतने स्केल पे जब तुम surveil करते हो तो कुछ लोगों की privacy breach होती है, but in that process if you find a terrorist or two तो तुम्हारा purpose achieve हो गया है, right? But यहाँ पे issue ऐसा है कि after ये stellar event वाला program was sort of initiated, next और ये एडवर्ड स्नोडन का, I think it happened in 2012 or 2013, right? तो 12-13 साल में, and even अभी तक there hasn't been a single major attack on America or a single major attack that has been deciphered due to the installment of the program
is it in the public, is it in the public records though?
अभी after the whole Edward Snowden debacle, now people अभी how would I have known कि ऐसा कोई program है? I mean now it is in the public domain, a lot of people know about it, right? So and another, the first point is कि ऐसा कोई भी अटैक हुआ नहीं है जो यूएस क्लेम कर रही थी कि मतलब हम प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं and we are sort of surveilling to take care of protect या जो भी है, ऐसा कुछ भी हुआ नहीं है. there has not been a single attack जो, और the case ये भी नहीं है कि यार they found out about an attack because of this program and then they took care of it and इसलिए it's a victory for stellar event, ऐसा भी नहीं है. They did not come across even a single major attack after the installment of that program, ठीक है. ये first. Second point is because millions and millions and millions of people were being tracked, so I mean what will you do with itni information, right? You have a database of one person, मतलब पूरी कुंडली of one person, वैसे millions of people, तो तुम्हारी efficiency भी बहुत कम हो जाती है when you surveil people on such a huge scale. The people that you actually want to target or people you actually want to surveil वो मिस हो जाते हैं. मतलब a common average American who goes to job और ये, if you surveil that, it's basically a wastage of resource, right? मतलब और ऐसे कितने लोग होंगे.
But
so यहाँ पे इसका point यही था, इसका point यही था कि इतने लोगों को तुम स्पाई कर रहे हो कि जिनको एक्चुअली करना चाहिए वो भी कभी कभी मिस हो जाता है बिकॉज द अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा दैट यू हैव वो कॉम्प्रीहेंड ही नहीं कर पाते हो तुम. इतना डेटा तुम्हारे पास है और इतनी अननेसेसरी इंफॉर्मेशन है कि you're not able to put that to good use. So it's basically a very useless thing.
नहीं हाँ, also इसका repercussion ये होता है because you have so much data. तो ऐसा है कि वो अगर कहीं misplace हो जाए, if it comes in the hand of a corporate giant, उसके पास अब millions of people का data है, तो that puts their position in the hierarchy so ahead of all the people, because they literally know. Abhi Google ho gaya, Facebook ho gaya, why they are so big. Facebook ka, do you know what Facebook's entire this thing is? Because abhi Facebook hai, Facebook ke all apps are free. ठीक है, Facebook के all apps are free, उसका only source is revenue and selling of data. ठीक है, they collect your data and they sell your data. So your data has become the data that you give to Facebook
bargaining chip basically.
हाँ, right, it becomes, हाँ. So मैं actually तेरे उस point पे ये बोल रहा था कि जैसे मतलब I mean because I just मतलब I want to make an antithesis argument, तो इसलिए मैं ये चीज बोल रहा हूँ कि what is the alternative of that. आपको, because you are not aware कि who the terrorist is, who the terrorist is not. So the आपका क्या कहते हैं, the same आपका कोरोना में भी यही हुआ था कि because you don't know who has corona or not, so you test everyone, right? The same principle applies here, because you don't know who the terrorist is or who the perpetrator is. You want to collect जितना data possible of all the people, जितने लोगों का data you want to collect as हाँ, again what you said,
compromising on the efficiency of it ना, मतलब data ठीक है, चलो है तुम्हारे पास, you know, ऐसे you have hundreds of terabytes of data with you, ठीक है, correct, okay, cool, very nice. But then what do you do with it? How do you make good use of इतना enormous data?
और कितने लोगों को you will have, और since it's a covert program, तो आप उसको decipher कराओगे किससे? Because you have so less number of people. मतलब ऐसा तो है नहीं कि
अभी you know ऐसे a similar मतलब ऐसे a concept that is sort of connected to this is, do you know how encryption works?
I know.
I very stupidly used to think यार मतलब you know ये कह तो रहे हैं कि यार
you
data
didn't know encryption क्या होता है?
I when I was researching the entire thing abhi I know, but what I'm saying is कि so only you, the sender, and the person X, the receiver, will know what the message was.
नहीं तो
the company
in some sort of binary or some sort of
so the company मतलब भले ही WhatsApp is the platform on which you are sort of you know talking to that person, but the company WhatsApp will not know anything about whatever you were so that basically how encryption works. मतलब सिर्फ तुझे और उसको पता है, the company मतलब we like normally a person would think ना यार कि मतलब मैं WhatsApp पे कुछ देख रहा हूँ तो मतलब WhatsApp would तो know कि मैं क्या लिख रहा हूँ उसको, you know that it seems like a common sense वाला thing कि मैं तो XYZ में लिखा है तो WhatsApp will be able to read it, but that's not how it works. Yeah. So
and this Pegasus software can decrypt that also, मतलब ये भी scene है.
Yeah, it can.
Right. हाँ तो हाँ, what I was wanted to point out here is कि भाई आपका देखो, in an ideal situation or in a utopian situation, surveillance becomes a necessary tool for government to identify the perpetrators or the criminals in the society in an idealistic situation. But since we humans are driven by politics or the lust for power so much, so such a software in the hands of a government who wants to be in power for so long, or who wants to shut all their opposition, it becomes such a it becomes such a powerful tool for oppression. जैसे ये बोला जा रहा है ना कि अभी जो the news reports or whatever the news platforms are saying कि भाई all the softwares is sent to all those countries who appear as some sort of authoritarian governments or some sort of dictatorships, because essentially UAE or all these countries जिनको आप बोल दोगे Middle East की countries हो गए,
the countries that were sort of मतलब said to have bought that particular software were Central Asian countries, a few Middle Eastern countries, and
हाँ इंडिया,
India भी एक country.
हाँ
India भी थी
राइट
उसमें.
राइट राइट. जैसे ऐसे
Yeah,
बोल, जैसे ऐसा है कि यू डू नॉट टारगेट जर्नलिस्ट. अब जर्नलिस्ट जो है, अब आप एक आइडियल सिचुएशन देखो, जर्नलिस्ट को यू वुडंट कंसिडर अ टेररिस्ट, राइट? बट जर्नलिस्ट इज
correct,
दैट पर्सन हु टॉक्स about you
correct.
and talks against you, points out
Against you,
your
yeah.
mistakes, right? So
Correct.
that is that is such a great tool for a government to actually
Yeah,
track कि
yeah.
भाई वो क्या बात कर रहे हैं and
True.
oppress them, right? यही हुआ है इंडिया में. तो
Correct.
जो बोला
Yeah,
जा रहा है कि इंडिया में बिकॉज इट्स सब जुडिस, तो आई डोंट थिंक we should talk
yeah.
about it very much. But
Right.
अदर कंट्रीज में अगर आप देखो, जैसे जमाल खशोगी
Yeah.
की the whole story was कि Jamal Khashoggi was so much anti the UAE crown prince, इसलिए वो
Saudi, Mohammed bin Salman.
सऊदी क्राउन
Yeah,
प्रिंस के
yeah,
अगेंस्ट था वो इतना ज्यादा.
yeah.
तो
Do you know, he was a state sympathizer. He was a pro whatever monarchy, pro regime वाला guy था वो.
राइट.
फिर धीरे
ओके.
धीरे धीरे, yeah, he was a, मतलब, he was very good friends with Mohammed bin Salman. I mean not very good friends with, but then he was a good acquaintance of
हाँ,
Mohammed bin Salman, और वैसे पूरा वो.
it is a very good possibility कि भाई because he was an acquaintance with him, so he got to
And then
know
he
some
later
secrets.
later he became.
He got to know some
नहीं
secrets,
नहीं,
ऐसा
वैसा नहीं,
हो.
वैसा नहीं, मतलब पहले
नहीं,
ही
there's a
was
possibility
a,
कि भाई उसको कुछ कुछ पता
और
चल
फिर
गया.
धीरे धीरे when he sort of got to know कि यार क्या क्या हो रहा है, या फिर क्या क्या, या फिर the policy changes that came into effect, तो उसके बाद he became थोड़ा सा ऐसे anti government, and then he started to write a lot of things.
अच्छा.
फिर लिखते गया, and then
हम्म.
it's a completely different topic how Saudi Arabia works, by the way.
हाँ, we need to talk. I
Basically,
actually don't know how Saudi Arabia works. नहीं, but we also need to have this topic, जैसे बहुत time से it is on my mind, to discuss what sort of
yeah,
government actually is the best. जैसे आप अगर बात करते हैं ना कि स्टेट्स की बात करो, या फिर मोनार्की हो गई, या डिक्टेटरशिप
right,
हो गई, या फिर इवन
governance,
कम्युनिज्म हो गई ब्रदर्स अगर.
correct, correct,
हाँ, तो
yeah,
what sort of government
right,
actually works for the works best for the benefit of the people, right?
right.
हाँ. So yeah, that's the scene of
we can
surveillance,
we
I
can we
believe.
can we can talk about that in that ऐसे वो abstract वाला जो segment
हाँ
है ना,
right.
जहाँ पे we'll talk about religion and
हाँ
stuff.
right. I think
So
हमने काफी points cover कर लिया. I think we can
yeah,
wrap this.
time कितना हो गया ना वैसे अभी.
मतलब I think हमने 20 minutes ये इस पे state वाली बात कर ली है हमने. It's 12:30
Yeah,
right now, but 30-20 minutes we have
नहीं,
talked about.
yeah,
This has
right.
been a nice conversation, I believe.
I
जो
I
जो हमने
I think
बातें की
so
ना,
too.
right?
Correct.
I mean, if you guys have some points to add as well, please
True.
feel free to comment, or feel free to message both of us, whoever you want, who
Yeah.
are you comfortable with. Pranav, if
And
you're
it can be a
comfortable with
very
Pranav.
very ऐसे niche topic, a very random, a very small topic,
Right. Also,
but
it's sort of an invitation
वो
as
बात
well.
करते करते, एंड वो पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक के बारे में बात करते करते यू नेवर नो कि क्या क्या चीजें ऐसे
हाँ राइट. अभी
आ
जैसे
जाए,
ना
क्या
देर
क्या
आर
चीजों
सम
के
पॉइंट्स,
दिमाग.
अभी जैसे दिस हैपेंस विद मी कि भाई आप ना आज तक उस चीज के बारे में नहीं सोच रहे हो कि भाई उस चीज से
राइट,
रिलेटेड ये बात भी हो सकती है, बट व्हेन यू आर इन अ
राइट,
कॉन्वर्सेशन हो, आपका दिमाग इतना
करेक्ट,
तेज चलने लग जाता है कि यू
राइट, राइट.
सॉर्ट ऑफ ऐसे, ओ ये चीज भी है, ओ ये चीज भी है, ओ जैसे हमने क्या कहते हैं, हम आपको वो हुए थे ना,
या
तो कार्ल मार्क्स पढ़ते
हाँ,
टाइम क्या हुए थे वो हमको.
हाँ,
हाँ
यार क्या क्या
यार, वो कितनी
था यार वो.
क्रेजी बात हो गई थी भाई वो. Anyway, we'll we'll
those
discuss
were the
about
days
it.
जब ऐसे एग्जाम के लिए
हाँ, बहुत
लर्न
मजा आता
करते
था
थे
भाई.
यार हम.
आई डोंट थिंक हम
हाँ.
एग्जाम्स के लिए पढ़ते थे. आई थिंक आई मैं तो एग्जाम्स के लिए इतना पढ़ता भी नहीं था, बट मैं तो भाई मार्क्स तो भाई अपने लिए पढ़ता था. सच में उस टाइम आई स्टार्टेड
उसके बाद
रीडिंग
कितने
मार्क्स सो मच.
सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स तूने मार्क्स पे किए हैं, तुझे याद है?
हाँ, आई
इवन
नो.
इकोनॉमिक्स में किया, यहाँ वहां भी तूने मार्क्स घुसेड़ दिया था.
यस यस ब्रदर. यार आई नीड टू स्टडी मोर यार. अभी बहुत टाइम से आई हैवंट ऐसे मार्क्स के बारे में.
Are you studying CRPC though?
CRPC, I am, yeah. I am. Anyway, it was good. It was good conversation
Yeah,
we
I
had
think
today. I think
I
it was.
think it ऐसे lengthwise भी ये
हाँ,
sufficient
और
था, इससे
cover
ज़्यादा
we
करेंगे
did
तो
cover a lot of
yeah,
perspectives as well. I
correct.
mean, again, it's an invitation to put your comments, or if you want to be part of our the next episode of our podcast, whatever topic you wish to suggest कि भाई इस चीज पे आज बात करते हैं, it's a good topic. So I mean,
Yeah.
feel free to we will share you the link, and you can add. Even if you're a stranger, we don't know each other, or we haven't talked to each other for a very long time.
मैं
Or
तो कहता हूँ if that is the case, it will be even more fun because
right,
ऐसे कोई
right.
preconceived notion नहीं होगा, तो ऐसे
हम
we
जज भी
can
नहीं,
talk
जजमेंटल
more
भी नहीं होंगे
freely.
ब्रदर, जजमेंटल भी
मैं तो
कम
वैसे भी
होंगे.
नहीं हूँ.
मैं तो हूँ, मैं फुल जजमेंटल. तो हाँ, मतलब आई थिंक इट
Yeah.
विल बी अ फन कंसेप्ट कि भाई आप स्ट्रेंजर से बात भी कर पाओगे, और यू नो दैट. हाँ, there's also going to be a sports segment, guys. Pranav will host
Yeah.
the sports segment, guys. If you're interested in
Yeah.
sports
So
as well, if you're interested in movies, if you're interested in random topics, whatever, it's cool. Cool.
it can be anything. कुछ भी हो सकता है,
Yeah,
पता है?
कुछ भी, there is no limit, no cap, brothers, no cap at all. आपको बॉटल पे बात करनी है, प्लास्टिक की
the only
बॉटल पे बात
advantage of
करनी है, we can. कल्चर्स
the
पे
only
बात करनी
advantage
है.
of you intimating us in the comment section is कि अगर ऐसे बहुत ही ज्यादा मतलब ऐसे कोई टॉपिक आपने बता दिया जो पता नहीं है, तो थोड़ा पढ़ के आ जाएंगे
हाँ,
ताकि थोड़ा बात कर
ट्रू.
सके.
और हम लोग
Yeah.
ऐसे वो भी, हाँ, मतलब पढ़ के भी आ जाएंगे थोड़ा, बट यू कैन टेक द लीड ऑल्सो. आप लीड भी
Yeah.
ले सकते हो
So
हमको सिखाने
we
में.
can हाँ, we can compliment you, but you can take the lead. You can
हाँ,
say head
राइट.
the discussion.
I mean, do not क्या कहते हैं, हमको ओवर वो मत कर लेना, हमको ओवर चेक मत कर लेना.
Steal the thunder नहीं करें क्या?
हमारा ठंड मत स्टील कर लेना, but yeah, you free guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's all for
Yeah.
today. It was a very good session, I believe.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun talking about these things.
Very true.
I mean, I believe मेरा
I
ना
actually
state is a favorite topic. पता है, I believe state पे मैं ना बहुत बात कर सकता हूँ. So state के बारे में I can talk a lot. Yeah. What you were
yeah,
saying,
we will talk about it. नहीं, what I was saying is कि the मतलब जब हम बात कर रहे थे स्टूडेंट के बारे में, तब I realized कि मतलब मुझे वो I need to brush up on the
हाँ.
details of the entire story. मतलब मैंने
What
ऐसा
we can do
बहुत
is
research करके yeah.
पूरा we can एक these guys that he told you about, I don't guess, Snowden and Julius Sands.
Edward
He
Snowden
has
and
written
Julian Assange.
he's
Yeah.
written a very long paper also. He runs a blog on Medium also. Please check him
Yeah.
out. We'll share the link as it down.
Link in the description.
Link in the description.
Yeah.
And we'll share also other resource material
Yeah.
that we used for our
Correct.
studying, or whatever the case. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's all for
So
today. Please. Oh yeah, Pranav, please continue.
नहीं, एक the only point was कि ऐसे I need to sort of brush up on the details जो मैंने वो सब लिखा है ना, मेरे को पढ़ना है मुझे, because ऐसे अभी I am not able to recollect, but जब मैं लिख रहा था, जब मैं देख रहा था, मैं रिसर्च कर रहा था, तब there were so many ऐसे कि oh shit वाले वो जो moments होते हैं ना कि यार ये क्या है ये, ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं वो लोग टाइप्स के.
Right.
तो ऐसे I will sort of read about it थोड़ा और मतलब brush up the previous sort of what जो भी है research, and then ऐसे अगले इसमें we can थोड़ा सा
Works.
talk about this, and then जो भी अगला segment है we can continue.
Yeah, right. I think it's a wrap for today. Please
Yes.
like, share, and subscribe. My name is Siddhant Vyas, and he's Pranav Chopra.
Yeah, and
Yeah, sayonara. ऐसे कर देंगे वापस.
yeah. Yes.
Goodbye, guys.
कर दिया.
Bye, guys.